but that's all right. What was the last thing you heard?
Sense of urgency from Nick.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Nick is walking over you with a sense of urgency and everything, and he goes over here. Daniel, um, I think we need to check the top floor. I think I saw some movement up there. It didn't look normal. Do you want me to go up by myself, or do you want to come with me? And do you want to go up? It's really up to you.
Go up together.
All right. So you both quietly, indiscreetly, go down the small hallway, turn left, and go up the winding staircase to the top balcony. When you get up there, there is a continuation in the staircase that seems to go up to the roof level. Um, but when you come out to the second level of the balcony area, there's a surrounding um, guardrail that surrounds it to where everyone can see down onto the floor and that sort of thing. And so, I mean, you have a clear view. And the thing that you take in from this is not that there's movement, it's actually quite the opposite. Um, no one's up there at all. And Nick looks around with the same expression. There was someone up here. I promised there was. Something's going on. And while this is going on, let me make sure everything on my end is working. Yeetly, yeetly. Yeah? Okay.
Did it look like there was a lot of people up here beforehand, or like
didn't really notice? At least a handful. At least a handful is what it had looked like. But it wasn't noted all that well, to be honest. You certainly saw people going up and down. Can you do one more perception check for me?
Ew. That would be a 5.
A 5. Um, you're looking around. The auction is still going on downstairs, and you're looking around, and on top of the the absence upstairs, you're looking, and there are several pedestals, similar to the ones that were downstairs, with small cushions on them. Um, and you find it interesting. You didn't really get a chance to examine them earlier, but part of you is curious if these pedestals were being used beforehand, like
Are they
something.
empty now?
They are empty now. So it seems like something's definitely going on. At this present time, you hear as the dome ceiling crashes, and it seems like two figures, drop in on roofs. Go ahead.
Real quick, how high am I compared to the floor?
You're about 20 feet up, and the ceiling is about another 20 feet up.
All right. I don't have that much health. Is there any way I could jump down safely from the balcony?
That's an excellent question. Not that I can think of. I'm not sure how much damage a 20-foot would do for you.
Every 10 feet, I believe, is d6 damage. One second. I mean, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
Yep. Every 10 feet is a d6 damage. So that'll be 2d6.
2d6.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, ultimately, it's up to you if you want to do that. Otherwise, I'd say, I mean, just going down the stairs again would be your safest option. But yeah, I mean, it's a clean fall just down onto the seats, pretty much.
Is there any like curtains up top?
There's not. I was gonna say there's like a dangling, not quite chandelier, but kind of like a chandelier that's hanging. But I mean, like, it's above where the second level is, so I mean, it wouldn't be reducing that fall.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess yeah. The only option is down the stairs. So.
Okay. All right, and then if you haven't already, go ahead and roll. Excuse me.
Should I think that my health would be level 1 paladin health?
Yeah, but what would that be? What would that be about?
Level 1 paladin health would be. I know my constitution hasn't changed at all. D10. So my health would be. That would just be 10 health.
Oh, 10 health?
Yep.
Okay. If we're gonna do level 1, we'll go ahead and commit to that and just do level 1.
All right.
But it'll be all right. We'll be good. Let's do that. And then yeah, go ahead and roll initiative if you haven't already.
That would be 14.
14. All right. We'll do this. We'll do this. And then before we continue, I'm going to go potty real quick.
All right.
And yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty then. Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. shoot. Okay, one more thing. Are you back?
Yeah, I've just been here the entire time.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were back or not. Let me grab one more thing.
All right,
I'm just waiting for something to print.
you got it.
Okay. Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Hello, friend. Okay. So. This is not the time for arts and crafts, Douglas.
All right.
Excuse me. Okay. So what did you get on? Oh no, you already told me. You got a.
14.
Okay. Oof. I drink too much soda and now my stomach's bubbly. Okay. that. Okay. Cool beans. Alrighty. So we return to the mysterious figures crashing through the ceiling. And you are rushing down the stairs, correct?
Yep.
Okay. What would you like Nick to be doing at this time when you're doing this? Do you want him to follow you, or do you want him to do any kind of strategizing?
I want Nick, while I go to face the people, I want Nick to go to the artifacts instead. Try and make sure those aren't being stolen.
You want him to go to the artifacts?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you both rush down there, and by the time you both get downstairs, you see two men right at the artifacts, swords drawn. They're wearing masquerade masks over their faces. And when you right when you get downstairs, the side door that Nick was previously standing by, it crashes in, and into the building are rush a crowd of people. And at first you're like, where all, what the heck's going on? Because it's way more than four. It's probably a dozen or more. As they rush in, though, and they're also wearing masquerade masks.
Mhm.
When they rush in, though, you're looking at them, and they're running around, but they have ropes around their arms like this, and it looks like they're possibly the people that were taken from upstairs.
I see.
So now the room is flooded with people, and the ones that were in the pews sitting there obviously are getting up and trying to barrel out the doors. There's too many people to get them all out there. While this is happening, first of all, Nick starts to break through the crowd and get towards the artifacts like you've asked him to, and is confronted by one masked man with a sword. He draws his out, and they start going at it. There is, I need more markers on my little paper. One masked man comes up and you see him just a little bit away. He seems to be taking Mr. Damon by the scruff of his neck with a sword to his throat and walking him towards that side exit, pulling him away. And Mr. Damon is kind of pleading, but not in a cowardice way, just in a, let me go. I will have your head for this. Let me go. He's being walked over. Is there anything immediately you want to do?
Well, do any of the two people that dropped down have horns?
No.
No. All right. Well, if there's only two, you said there's only two who dropped down, right?
Two who dropped down, and then a crowd of people that came through the door.
All right, then there should be only those two for now. While he's dealing with them, I'm gonna go help Lord Damon.
You're gonna do what?
I'm gonna go try and see if I can rescue Lord Damon.
Okay. So the masked figure sees you approaching and turns and kind of pushes Damon to the side and holds out his sword to you and starts approaching you. And he is actually going to go ahead and make the first attack. Oh, I just dropped stuff. This is what I get for having a tilted table. What's your AC?
Should be the same here. We'll just say 17.
That works. He rolled an 18, so he gets you on the first one. He pulls out his sword. Your swords clash together, and he just kind of nicks you on the shoulder real quick. And he gets you 3 points of damage.
All
right. He starts to try to back away a little bit just to create some space, but it is your turn.
All right, so I'll pull out my great sword. Like, last chance to put down your weapon. Isn't going to end pretty.
And he holds out his sword. I make it a point not to take orders from beasts like you.
Made this easier. I'm gonna first, 5 of those. Yeah, I'll just attack him.
Okay.
So that would be, strength would be 14 at the time. Efficiency would also be 2. That'd be +4 to hit. That'd be 14.
That'll hit.
All right, that damage is 2d6 + 2. All right, so that's going to be 8 damage.
8 damage? Nice. Let's do that and do that. So you guys are starting some sword play, and you get him, and you are... I like to think that Daniel's kind of a witty sword player, and he kind of mimics the same hit that the guy did on you on the opposite shoulder to him. But yours goes way deeper, and it like slices him. And he goes, ah! And he drops his sword on the ground as his arm is bleeding. It was the arm his sword was being held in, and he just like that and starts backing away. You got him really good, actually. So awesome. Was there any other actions you wanted to do on this turn?
I don't have any spells at the time. All I can really do is attack. I would have 5 lay on hands. I would probably heal myself for the damage that he gave me.
Okay.
Get myself back to 10.
Yeah, that works. That works.
And then for my last action, I'll just look over and see if I can find Nick. Make sure he's hopefully dispatched by with this guy for now is over by the items.
Yeah. So Nick has It seems that he has apprehended the one guy, and it has him like cuffed up in old-fashioned iron cuffs,
Mhm.
and he's working his way over to the artifacts. When he gets over there, he gives you a look, and he's like that, and you look over at what he's seeing, and it appears that the eye is still there. It
Mhm.
seems that the eye is still there, but a couple of the other artifacts are missing, and there's still a swarm of masquerade people running around screaming, in their bonds and that kind of thing, and everyone's still just trying to funnel into the door. It's like clogged almost though, but you see more people trying to pile in. Um, Mr. Damon comes over to you. He goes, "It was Daniel, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I can honestly say you're better than the other gods here. I appreciate it." And he looks you up and down and goes, "Icole, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll remember that. Thank you." And he starts heading towards the door. And it goes that way. So while that is happening, you see a couple more bad guys, and they have a hold of one masked person, and they seem to be like kind of tossing him around and that kind of thing, and they knock over one of the columns holding one of the artifacts. They knock over the eye is what they do. And it lands on the floor, and like they kind of fall on top of it together. They're wrestling with this masked guy. Seems to be putting up a fight of some kind. And I sound like a broken record. Do another perception check for me, if you will.
It'll do. 5 again.
5 again. Okay. All right. So you're witnessing them wrestle around and that kind of thing. The masked bound man, who's actually a good size, he's pretty bulky. He gets up off the ground and like hits one of them and runs towards the side door where they had all entered from and starts making his way out. And he seems to actually have gotten out, or is in the process of it.
Is the eye still there?
The eye is farther back than it was, but from where you are, you can see it. Yeah. The man that he struck gets up, draws his sword, and he sees you and Nick, and he motions for his other guy to go for Nick, and he starts approaching you with his weapon. And let's see what he does. That will not hit. So he pulls out his sword, and he just swings twice at you, but you kind of dip and dodge out of the way. And he, while he's doing this, he shouts to his friend. He goes, "Take that one down! Let's get out of here!" And I'll go ahead and roll for the other guy while he's fighting Nick. Oh yeah. So they're doing all right. Nick's holding his own against these guys. He's had practice. We're back to you though.
All right. I'll attack this guy with my greatsword. That would be a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That'll be maximum damage, 14 damage.
So, Daniel's not here to play around, and while this guy is shouting to his friend, you take out your greatsword and you hack this man down. Like single blow, hack him down. He's dead. He's just dead on the ground. And you hear some lady go, "Ah!" and scream about it, but it's line of duty. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
These guys are obviously a threat, so it's okay. Nick runs over after disarming the other man, and the guy flees out. He didn't have enough cuffs to cuff him. But he goes over and he picks up the eye and brings it over to you. And so you guys kind of regroup a little bit. He goes, Daniel, we have the eye. Okay, what now? We need to find the main guy, right?
I'm not sure. Where it could be. So what's wrong?
Daniel. And he shows you the eye. You're looking at it, and it looks just the way it did. But there's like a scratch on it. There's like a scratch on it, and you're both looking at it, and Nick takes his thumb and runs his nail on the scratch. It's gold paint on wood.
I see.
They took it.
I know which way they went.
Lead the way. Let's go.
I'm gonna go out the side entrance where that one guy who's bound went.
Okay. All right. You run out just in time to see the guy get up onto a horse and start whipping and going off. At this time, everyone's flooding out of the building in various directions, going down the street. You're in a big city, so it's like they're out. You're not too worried about them now. But you both do have the carriage that you had before. Do you want to hop on and ensue in a little chase?
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. I will let you know now because there's a couple of options.
Mm-hmm.
For one thing, we can you might not like it. I don't know. We can implement the same carriage type actions that we did last time. If you didn't like that, it's okay too.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh goodness. If I can find what those were, but I think I remember. My second question is based on this. This guy got a head start just enough to where he did not notice you guys following him. Ooh. Do you want to chase him down and catch him before he gets wherever he's going? Or do you want to try to just follow him unseen?
Do the latter.
Follow him unseen?
Yep.
Okay. So because we do that, I will have you roll a stealth with advantage. We're just going to say that because Nick is with you, you're both in this together, single-mindedly, doing this.
It's going to be a 12.
A 12? Okay. That'll be good. And because you're keeping a certain distance behind, it's like, you're doing all right. So you follow him just a good distance away. And when he gets through a few corners and turns of the city, he kind of gets out closer to the ports, the docks, and you see him pull up there, and his horse stops, and his horse is panting and whinnying, and he gets off. And now that he's in lantern light, you see clearly two horns on his head, and he has his masquerade mask still on. And he walks over. He has a cape on him, and he walks over to the dock and is looking out away from you guys and seems to be waiting for something. He draws his sword just in case. But you guys do still have your stealth advantage right now. So Nick leans over to you. You're like kind of behind some barrels and boxes on the dock. Nick goes, How do you want to do this? Do you want to apprehend them together, or do you want me to wait here?
Wait here. Don't know who he's waiting for, so try to watch out for that.
Understood. Just be careful, all right?
So how far away are we from him?
You're probably he's out on the dock, so keeping that in mind, he's maybe I'm also really bad at managing distance. Maybe like 7 or 8 yards away. So I mean, like he's a decent distance away, but because he's on the dock, his exits are limited at the moment. The dock is empty besides him right now.
Okay, let me ask you this simpler. If I
Yeah.
just went to charge at him to attack him, would I just be able to get an attack off without him noticing?
Oh, okay. So like from where you are, could you attack him? You mean?
Yes.
Gotcha. What I say, 6 or 7 yards?
Yeah.
Well, wait, my math is not mathing. If I am mathing correct, he should be about 20. Why is my brain not working? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if I'm doing this correctly in my brain, he should be approximately like 25 to 35 feet away from you, but I'll say closer to 30.
All right.
So yeah.
So just wait for him to just start like when he examining the water still, I'll just charge up at him and do an attack while he's not looking.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, actually wait. Give me a second. Let me think about this. Yeah. I do the attack first.
All right.
That would be a 14 to hit.
A 14?
Yep.
It's just at his armor class.
So hits?
Yeah. So what kind of attack are you doing?
Just like an attack towards his legs. I'm mainly trying to maim him so he can't run if he continues trying to get him alive. And actually after the attack, I'm going to be like, you have been injured. I recommend you surrender now so we can get you some help.
Yeah. He falls to his knees. And he drops his sword in response to it because, like, I would say you cut like the back of both of his calves, kind of like not permanent damage deep, but like enough to.
You want another damage?
Yeah.
That's going to be 1 away from max damage, so 13.
13. Okay, yeah, you definitely hit him. Let me scratch that off of his health. Okay, so he's a little more injured than what I had in mind, but that's all right. So yeah, you really chopped his calves, and he, damn it, and he looks up at you with very pale blue eyes behind a masquerade mask. And he goes, "If you want the bloody eye, just take it. Don't you have a family to feed?"
I only have one person I care about right now, and I know she can take care of herself. For now, justice needs to be served. And that means you are coming with me, and I'll attempt to grab him.
When you go to grab him to like lift him up, you know his head jerks up like that, and his mask falls off. And now that his mask is off, you see his horns and everything. And he is a red tiefling. He has blue eyes, white hair, and looks remarkably like you,
Oh.
but older. And he looks at you. You're about this far away, and he looks at you. What's your name?
Daniel Saul.
You've grown. Is your mother well?
She's struggled being by herself, but she did as well as she could.
Raised you right, I see. Better than I could. Do you even know my name?
To be honest, I thought you were dead.
Maybe she wishes I was. But I'm guessing dead or alive, right?
Yes.
Daniel. What I did wasn't fair to you. I understand. My father, he left me as well. Just know that if you take me in, you'll be causing me to do the same thing again.
Explain yourself.
When I left your mother,
Oh crap.
you're good.
Sorry, my sister and her engaged just bought a dog for some reason.
Ooh, that's exciting.
They have a dog in the house. I don't know if it's theirs or something. I hope it's not theirs. We have too many animals in the house already.
I hope it's better than my sister and brother-in-law's dog.
Anyway. Sorry, you were saying.
When I left your mother, I did some bad things. And now I am trying to do better for my wife and child I have now. If you lock me away, they'll be no better off than you and your mother were.
Better, you're stealing. What you expect to happen?
Certainly not this. While you're having this conversation, Nick peeks around the corner and he has his sword in his hand. He goes, Daniel, is everything all right?
I'm just talking him down. Keep an eye out for backup.
All right. He goes back to the carriage. The man your father. He looks remorseful. And he reaches down into his pocket and he pulls out the eye. Daniel, I did wrong by you. I know this. Let me free. Take this. Nothing was stolen. Forget you saw me.
I let you go. You continue your crimes.
The funny thing about justice is it really depends on how you look at it. I can make no such promise. But I promise you will never have to see me like this again. And he takes a moment and he looks at the eye in his hand. Do you know what this is?
I do.
So you know that by looking through it, you can see the truth. Even if someone doesn't speak, you can see the truth of anything you search for when you look through it. I myself have never tried it. But if you need help deciding,
I'll take hold of it. I won't use it yet, but I'll take hold of it.
I'm not trying to abandon another child. I'm not trying to abandon another woman that needs me. I'm not a good man. I'll admit that. But I'm trying.
What's their names?
My wife's name is Christina. We have a daughter, Freya. She turns 10 next week. I think you would like her.
You suck, by the way. I'm talking to you, Doug.
Mhm.
You suck.
Good. If you think I suck, I must say it's not going to get easier.
Ah.
I only say that because while you guys are waiting, it's not here yet, but you do see through the mist of the harbor. It looks like in the distance there's a ship approaching, a boat of some kind, towards the dock. he notices it as well.
Would you be leaving this city after this? Would you be staying here with your...
I suppose you've put me in a position where I don't have much to choose from, do I? If you let me go, we'll go somewhere else.
Importantly, does your family live here?
What was that?
More importantly, does your family live here is what I said.
Oh, yes. What exactly were your orders when they sent you after me?
Dead or alive, if dead, need proof that you're actually dead.
Daniel, take out your sword.
It's already out.
Cool. He lowers himself to his knees again, and he kind of like bows his head at you. Strike one of my horns. The boat is coming, please.
What happened to your family?
What happened to his family?
What would happen? He
Yeah.
I'm making him leave town. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering what his plan is, real quick.
We'll figure something out. But if I'm gone, my wife, I don't know what'll get her by. And Freya will probably be sent to the workhouse for children. Daniel, I can't screw this up again.
Would you plan to take them with you if you leave? Or use the eye real quick.
Yeah, use the...
Yep.
Okay, so you peer through the eye at him. The Eye of Tyr is a very interesting artifact, and you've obviously never used it before. Ask me what you are looking for when you look at your father through the eye. Just know that whatever you ask it, it will show you to the fullest extent what is going on.
So, will he attempt to be a better man for his new family?
So you're looking through it, and when you do this, it's kind of like looking into a crystal ball, where images just kind of like it focuses in on him, but images start to develop, and I had to, and you see a scene of him, seemingly from what you think to be like the recent past. And you see him coming home to a kind of a hole in the wall type house, very, very low income, arguably worse than yours and your mom's. Walking in, a door opens, and a young half tiefling running up to him, a little girl with black hair and blue eyes jumping into his arms, and he picks her up and kisses her on the head. And a wife walking in, she's folding clothes and hugs him, and they're speaking and laughing together. There's another scene, it kind of warps around, and there's another scene which you can't really tell if this is past or possibly future. But you see the three of them on a boat sailing somewhere, somewhere to a new place. They have backpacks on, and your father does look older in this. He actually has a little beard going on, and now it clicks that this would be a future outcome because his horns are short now, and the three of them hike up onto the land, and you see them looking at houses, and just several different scenes are going by. Then it comes back, and yeah, that's what you see. You start hearing ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding of the boat as it gets closer.
You deserve so little. Your justice should be jail. But your family, they deserve a husband, a father. They have done nothing wrong, so I will not take you from them. And then I'll chop off his horns.
You slice down, and both horns, clean cut, fall to the ground. One of them, like the very tip of it, actually kind of like breaks off on its own on a separate piece. And there is a little bit of blood from the inside, but not too much. I'm proud of you, Daniel. I know I wasn't there for you. Hell, maybe it's better that I wasn't. You were destined to be better than me. And I know your mother's proud too. And he starts to get up on his very weak legs and starts to turn away from you. Take care of your mother. She deserves it. Take care of yourself.
Take care of your family.
Good night. And he nods to you. And with that, he hobbles over to the water and looks back at you one last time. And jumps in, swims towards the boat in the distance. In response to the crash of the water, in a few moments, Nick comes around the corner. Oh. And he sees the horns and the blood on the ground, and he kind of pieces together what he thinks he sees. You killed him. All right. I didn't expect that, but good for you. Are you all right?
I'll slowly start collecting the horns. Be like, better now.
Better is good. I suppose we should head back to Icor and resolve this case. You have the eye, right?
I'll show it to him.
Perfect. Did you use it by chance?
Did. Used it on him, actually.
Really?
Showed me the truth. And it showed me what I had to do.
He must have been a pretty sick individual to end like that.
You have no idea.
Well, let's get back. Job well done. Then, is there anything else you want to do before leaving?
No. I won't even look back at the boat to see if he makes it. I just walk away.
Awesome. All right. So, going forward, the two of you return to Icor. You make your reports on the case of what's going on, and you are able to return the Eye of Tyr to its rightful owner. You did apprehend or defeat the remaining gangsters, if you will. It seems that a couple of them got away, but due to their injuries and some other detectives on the job, they were able to be found relatively quickly. The leader of their group, known as Elijah Soul, was recorded as slain by Daniel Soul on the docks, and The horns were turned in as a trophy of proof of death. And by the following week, Daniel Soul is presented with an official letter of welcome for the I-Corps Detective Agency. When this day comes, Nick is so happy for my entire family's dying in the background. Nick is so happy for you. Well done, Daniel. I'm so happy for you. You really made it. We're detectives together. This is what we always dreamed of, right?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Awesome. Oh, by the way, let me find it. And he goes back and goes through one of his bags that he has. And he goes, and this might just sweeten up the occasion. He hands it to you, and there's a letter from your mother that he got. And it looks like this. Sending it on Facebook.
That's a long letter.
Your mama missed you. Nick sees you. Your expression change. Everything all right?
No. My mother's sick.
Yeah. Well, is there anything we can do for her?
She needs enough money for the surgery.
Well, you have a career now. Yeah?
Yeah.
The first step towards a brighter future. And if I know your mom, she's a strong woman. She'll be okay. All right?
Right.
To fast forward a little bit again, and things did start to look up. Daniel would go on to solve a few small cases here and there and make some decent money, however, not quite enough on top of bills of living in the big city. Made good income, but it wasn't going to be quite enough to just send that kind of money to your mom. However, in a couple weeks, about a month and a half closer to that, you receive one more letter, not from your mother. It's a letter bearing a wax seal with gold paint on it. And you recognize it as some kind of a prestigious, nearly royal type seal. That is when you come face to face one day after an invitation to the manor of Lord Damon Song. He remembers your acts of service at the gallery where you saved his life and has privately requested you as help. He, well, first of all, he greets you. Daniel, It's been too long. How are you these days?
Better physically, mentally. I'm struggling a bit, to be honest.
These are trying times. Understood. But I do have a job for you, if you're up for the task.
Of course I am. Times might be trying, but it only strengthens my resolve to do my job.
And that's the type of mentality that got you here, is it not? Exactly. Not to shift the mood into a grim atmosphere, but I need your help finding a murderer. Specifically, the one who killed my daughter and my granddaughter. He's my son-in-law. Was my son-in-law. But when my daughter and granddaughter were mysteriously killed, he fled. Now I've had other agencies track him, and he seems to have taken to sea somewhere. We're not sure where. But you've proven yourself time and time again, and I feel you're the right person for this job. I see you've been in some hard times financially, I don't doubt, correct?
Correct.
Well, let's just say I will pay a ridiculous amount to see this man hanged. I just need you to bring him back for me. Do you accept?
Of course. Justice must prevail overall.
Agreed. As he's far away, I'm giving you a lenient time frame of 1 to 2 years. Travel will be covered, as he may be in another country entirely, and when you get there, he will be hard to find. I'm a patient man, but I will see him dead. Looks like you got yourself a job, kid. And with that, you know what happens next.
How long has it been since then? To about right now?
Like on the island, you mean?
Yep.
We don't know exactly.
Like, how long has it been since when I got on the island from then?
So when you first joined, it had been about a year. It had been about a year when we first started playing together, and you first saw Artie during, I think it was me and Matthew's like fourth session together.
Yeah.
So that's when you initially made contact with him. But as far as keeping track of time, as we know in the island, it's very tricky. So, yeah.
I see.
Well, there you go. Are you thoroughly depressed?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I didn't ruin your backstory, did I?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I mean, let's talk about it a little bit. What are you thinking, feeling? Do you have questions, comments, concerns for me?
I don't really have. It was great. I was wondering what you were planning to do with my father, or Daniel's father. There's a lot of things you could have done, and I'm happy with where it went.
Okay. Mhm.
Uh, I was able to convince myself that letting him go was the correct form of justice for his family. But like with Artie, killed hypothetically. I don't know the story, but he killed his family.
According to Lord Damon.
To what I know.
So what you know, I mean, I know you're gonna hate this, but I can confidently say, as far as you know, you just don't have enough information for yourself yet. To know for a fact, you just don't know yet.
Yeah.
Which I know is frustrating, but it's also
no, I know.
Yeah.
Like you haven't told me much. All I know is what he said, and I know Artie has said he lost people in the past.
Yeah.
That's all I know. So to what I know right now, that is the conclusion. That it can easily be changed. It's not a hard conclusion, but it is the only conclusion that I can make right now.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I mean and then I printed out a physical just because I was like, I like that. By the way, did I ever show you this? Okay, just for some here and there. This is currently what Artie looks like, just for some comparison.
Maybe send me a picture beforehand.
I think I did too, but just in case I didn't. But obviously, it's kind of hard to investigate someone if you don't have a visual of like who you're investigating. So,
yeah,
just in case that helped any.
it's hard to. Yeah, 1 second. This text at the bottom of this wanted poster that I can't read. I gotta download it myself.
Gotcha. I was gonna say if I need to send it to you on text or something, I can too.
This works. You just zoom in and read it. The created Laura Damon song of Lexstar. Wanted for the murder was in a song. Wellspring of Lily and Lily's song. Wellspring. This.
I accidentally made a typo, and I meant to put a slash between 1 and 2, but it says 1 2 years.
Ah. Right.
So yeah, and I definitely I know that I definitely threw a spin with the whole father thing. And part of that was simply because like I don't know if you had a backstory in mind.
I didn't. I had no idea. I set that up specifically so you could go running with it.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, I definitely didn't want to like if you did have something in mind, I didn't want to step on that and like.
No,
like,
I had like ideas of what it could be, but I
Okay.
specifically made it so my character did not know. So
Okay.
the only ideas in the back of my head would just be probably the ideas that he had in the back of his head.
Gotcha. So cool. Yeah. If you can't tell, I definitely wanted to put you in a justice dilemma. Which I feel like I did that.
You did, definitely.
I like making my players struggle, but yeah. Well, I had fun with it.
Yeah, so did I.
I know it wasn't the most action packed, but I definitely wanted Daniel's experience to be more based on intellect and thinking and stuff like that. And I'll do another solo session in the future and change it up a little bit, change the format of it. But yeah,
Question: how close was I to killing my father?
you were really close to killing your father. you hit him, and I kid you not, he had like 2 hit points left.
Alright, good to know that unless I critted, I could not kill him with 1 hit because that was like 1 damage off max damage.
Yeah. You hit him, and you told me how much you did, and I was like, "Oh, don't hit him again!" You know. When I thought about having there be like minimal damage whenever you did the horns originally, but then whenever you did that much to his legs, it's like we're just gonna say the horns just snap off. We're not gonna give him damage.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. I was planning. I had like 2 points of lay on hands left that I probably would have used at that time.
That's fair. That's fair. And I thought about it, and this is totally up to you and what you want to do with your character ultimately. But
Yeah.
I considered basically giving you this opportunity just to have a little, I guess, a little. What would we say? A little keepsake from this session that'll carry over. Okay, so for one thing, I forgot to say earlier, Daniel has 1 inspiration point now on behalf of releasing his father and allowing him to have a chance at a better life. I liked that, and I think that lines up with Daniel's character as much of a struggle as it was. So you have that going forward. So, you know, when we play as a group again, you got that at your disposal. The other thing that's totally up to you. When his horns broke off and landed, I told you that the point of one of his horns snapped, like separately. Yeah. If you want to, Daniel could keep that as like something, as like a keepsake, or put it on a necklace or something that like later on, if you want to tie it into, you know, if it ever comes up and you want to tie it into the story, you can. But if it's like not that big of a deal, don't worry about it. But
honestly, you would probably prefer to get away from the any idea of that night. Like, yes, what he did was probably correct, but in his heart, he did let a criminal who did crime and deserved justice get away, and he will probably hate himself. He would hate himself more if he did turn him in, but he will hate himself for letting a criminal go.
Exactly.
Even if it was his father. So he would prefer to keep away from any memory of that night.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. All right, awesome. Well, is there anything else to discuss or questions to ask?
Well, that should be good, actually. Yeah.
Cool beans. Well, let me stop recording real quick.